And if we're opening an office from scratch, that's one of the first things I'm going to recommend that you do. Welcome to AMC. I'm Dr. Greg Miller. We're in a series on starting a practice. And Doc, even if you're in practice, this topic of community outreach with Dr. Jeremy Brubaker is certainly worth giving a listen to. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, what we're going to look at is marketing, and more specifically, how the community outreach of your office affects your marketing. And there's lots of different things we could talk about, but today, I wanted to lay some groundwork, and this is good for if you're opening an office from scratch, or maybe you've been in practice for a while. These principles are the same whether you're opening or continuing to practice for years. So let's jump right in. First thing we want to talk about in community outreach, it can come in many different forms. But to back the truck up, why? Why would we get out and outreach the community? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, as a doctor, as a member of the community, most of us want to be leaders in the community. We want to be leaders in the healthcare of our community. And to do that, it becomes very, very difficult to do that from inside the four walls of your office. Now, I'm not discounting our digital footprint out there in the marketplace either, whether it be social media, whether it be direct ads. That's a part of it, but over the years and over thousands of different doctors in hundreds and hundreds of different markets, it's proven over and over and over again, any marketing that you do, whether it be digital, whether it be conventional, it's going to be more effective if we have a presence and we have a drive to outreach to our community. So that's kind of the preference, and if we're opening an office from scratch, that's one of the first things I'm going to recommend that you do, is outreach, get out in the community. Because I don't know about you, but as I search online or Facebook or Instagram or whatever the latest platform is at the moment that you're watching this, it becomes very difficult to have any sort of relationship digitally, right? Now we talk about it's social media, but it's very impersonal. And maybe from just my perspective, I don't trust a whole lot on just that platform, right? So to just isolate ourselves in our four walls of our office and depend on that solely to be our community outreach, our connection with the community from our marketing, I believe is an error. So let's talk about how do we, and I'm not saying it, I don't discount it, it's part of the marketing equation, but how do we get from zero to an explosive opening and very successful practice? We need to be boots on the ground in our community. Now, let's unpack a couple different thoughts on this, and there's conventional ways, there's creative ways, there's standard ways that have worked for years, and I'll encourage us, we're gonna use all of those in opening a practice. Everything from we all heard spinal screenings. Not a lot of us maybe enjoy those or like those, but you've got to switch the switch in your head to go, how am I ever going to reach people if I don't reach people? If I don't get in front of them? And it could be screenings, it could be health talks, it could be some of those standard ways that are tried and true. Of course, having the right systems and the right procedures really enhances those activities. And we can talk about those maybe in an upcoming video like this, but there's no substitute, right, for a face-to-face contact, a face-to-face relationship where people actually know that you're a real person, you have a heart, you have a passion, you have a purpose. And when your community finds out you have a purpose, just not another business in the community, well, I can guarantee you that your marketing efforts are going to be more effective. You are going to start to become a leader in that community, not only in healthcare, but in business. So let's start. There's standard, there's chambers of commerces, there's business networking groups, there are support groups. There are lots of opportunities if you just open up. And what I commonly find in a younger practitioner that's opening up, or maybe even a seasoned one that's moving markets and opening up a new practice, is the creativity level is kind of low. And I always had this mantra is I'll try anything once as long as it makes sense, right? And get creative. If we're talking about where to outreach, it's just not in health-related events
or venues. It's where are people gathered, right? We are in the people business. I know we're in healthcare, but we are in the people business. And if we're not outreaching to the people in our community, a lot of times we're not going to reach them. So especially starting a practice, a foundational step is just getting out, getting over ourselves, getting into the community with a purpose. And if you have a purpose for speaking and sharing information and educating your community, well, let's go ahead and do that. And again, it's always great to have the systems to back that up of how to do it properly, but that will make an impact and start to, and depending on the market, it'll start to get word around that, around your area, around your practice, about who you are, what you do. And again, when you're trying to infiltrate, if you will, I don't know if that's the right word, but if you're trying to break into a new market with a brand new practice, our biggest obstacle is going to be nobody knows you exist. That may be hurtful for you to hear, but they don't know you exist and they don't care at that moment until we take those action steps in a community outreach type program to reach the community. And hopefully, most of us got into this profession and into chiropractic and healthcare to make a difference, to serve and change lives. And you'll never, ever substitute for relating with people one-on-one. When you do that and you again become a presence, now everything else you do related to the digital side, which is a lot more impersonal, becomes personal because they know you, they know you're real, they know you have a heart for what you do for serving people, for changing lives. So I know that's pretty broad, but I wanted to share that underlying principle that there is no substitute. We need to meet. People need to know you exist. They need to know what you're about in order for you to market successfully and at a higher level and make everything gel together. And whether it be one-on-one meetings, whether it be involved with your chamber, whether it be creating lunch and learns, whether it be actively creating events for professionals, whether it be teachers or first line responders, or we can get very creative of how to outreach, but the principles of it stand true, especially in this digital world where not many people trust initially what they see online. We must have a heart and a passion and a purpose to get out there and reach our community. So I hope this is helpful to just kind of open up the door for you to go, it is integral from going from zero to opening a practice to being very successful. It is integral to become a part of that community, so you can lead that community, educate that community. And anytime people are educated, they make better decisions. So we're not going to leave that to anyone else because, quite frankly, in your community, who else is going to get it out there and educate them with what we do, why we do it, the conditions we help, so on and so forth. It's a massive opportunity, and a lot of doctors will not do it. They will stay confined in those four walls of their practice, and they will get the results that yield from that. So I encourage you, step out of your comfort zone, reach out to your community, and if you're in practice and you're watching this, you can do the same thing. If you've been in practice 20 years and you haven't been out of your four walls in a while, I can guarantee you it will enhance the relationships in your community, how you're known in the community, and will affect any and all marketing that you do to those people in your community. I hope this is helpful. I hope you take this and dive deeper into the ways to outreach to our community, the ways to market, but without the concepts of why we do it, a lot of that's going to fall flat for you, and we don't want that to happen. Keep tuning in. We'll keep sharing more content and some principles, and reach out to us. We're here to help you and serve our profession.
Thanks for joining us today. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified whenever we post new content. Check the description for more ways to get our content, and if you'd like more information about AMC and how it might help your practice, reach out to us at amcfamily.com.